We're going to go on to how in the world do we find the equation of a line, and we're still dealing with our slope-intercept form. There's a lot of times that we're either given the slope or given some points, and we have to come up with what is the equation, what is the rule that all of these points are following. So the first one that we're going to do, the first kind of problem we're going to tackle is if we are given a point that lies on the line, and we are given the slope of the line. How can we take these two things and find the rule or find the equation? Well, I love steps. So step number one, we're just going to go ahead and write the general y equals mx plus b slope-intercept. So just write this out. This is the general equation, the general form for every line. But we're going to have to figure out what the slope is and what the y-intercept is. Oh, well, lucky us. We're actually given in this type of problem, we're given what the slope is. So we're just going to fill in that in for m. Then we're going to have to figure out what is our y-intercept. Where does that equation or that line cross the y-axis? So all of these steps, the next ones, are going to be to try to find what b is. But we're given a point, we're given an xy coordinate point. We're going to substitute the x value and the y value in for our equation. And be careful, this is a super common mistake that so many people make. Do not mix up the x and the y. Don't put x in for y and y in for x. And you'll see how easy that is to do. Then we're just gonna solve for b. We're gonna manipulate our formula and we're gonna get b equals a number. Then, since we have our m, we have our b, we're going to rewrite the equation and we have our general equation. So let's go through this example. We want to find the equation of the line that passes through the point -3, 1, and we know that the equation of the line, it has a slope of 2. Okay, I want to know what the equation is. Step number 1, just write the general equation, y equals mx plus b. This does quite a few things, especially when we're still figuring out how to use this. It helps us to memorize the formula, and it stops us from making some really dumb mistakes. Step number 2, I'm going to replace my slope with 2, because I know that the slope is 2. I was told that. So I just write y equals 2x plus b. Now the only thing I have to figure out or I have to find is that b. And steps 3 and 4 is going to help me find b. Now I know that the equation or the line passes through the point -3, 1. I know -3, 1 follows the rule of whatever this equation is. So I'm going to use the point -3, 1. X is -3 and y is +1. And I'm going to replace x and y in my equation with -3 and 1. Now be careful to not mix them up. You'll notice that here, x in our coordinate point, x comes first and then y. But in our equation, y comes first and then x. So be careful not to mix them up. Y is 1. 2 times x, I'm going to replace x with -3. And then my plus b is just there because I'm still trying to figure out what b is. I'm going to simplify and solve for b. 2 times -3 is -6, so now I have 1 equals -6 plus b. I'm going to solve for b, add 6 to both sides, and I get 7 equals b, or b equals 7. Now that I've figured out what b equals, now I can write my general equation. It's going to be in the form y equals mx plus b, and I'm going to replace m with 2 because my slope was 2. And I'm going to replace b with a +7 because I just figured out that b is a +7. This is the rule that I'm trying to find. All of the points that I'm going to graph are going to follow this rule. Every time I drop in an input, I'm going to multiply it by 2 and then add 7, and that's my output. Then we're going to graph the line and we're going to check our work, which means I could do a bunch of things. I could plot the point -3, 1, because I know that's on the line. So 1, 2, 3, 1. And I know that my slope is 2, or 2 over 1. So I'm going to go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. I could continue that. I could go down 2 to the left 1. Okay, and there's my, there we go. And I can kind of double check this. Where does this cross the y-axis? It should cross the y-axis at 0, 7. Does it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Indeed it does. And I will just use my straight edge. So this is the equation of the line. Y equals 2x plus 7. It passes through the point negative 3, 1. It has a slope of 2. Now you go ahead and try numbers 1 and 2 and then check back to see how you do.